Good morning, everybody. It's the 26th of May, and this is Terrific Tuesday. Now, what does terrific mean? Well, I had a quick look at the archaic or the old-fashioned definition of it, and it means causing terror, dreadful, awful, horrible, many other kind of adjectives. So I'm not using that definition. I'm using the modern definition of terrific, meaning tremendous, massive, great, very great, of course, of a great size. So I'm talking about being big with kindness, having a huge heart, not just being kind, but hugely kind. And having a huge heart are those people who have high emotional intelligence. But there's always a kind of downside to some of these things that are overly large. You need to be aware of some of the problems that you might encounter for your own personal mental health and physical health and overall well-being. As I said yesterday, we have all felt quite down in May. Whether it was in the air, I don't know, but there were so many people, and for whatever reason, we need to try our best to keep our spirits up and as positive as possible. So from feedback, it seems that people are enjoying my daily videos, and these have gone some way to help you to feel a bit more positive. So what does having a huge heart mean? Well, there are two sides to this, and hopefully when I'm talking through this, a lot of you will resonate with this. One is very positive, because when you are kind to those around you, it can bring you and everyone else around you joy, such joy. You have got an energy for life. You're very happy to be kind to family, to friends, to colleagues, and even people you don't know. And at the moment we're having, I think it's maybe a time to say a wee affirmation to all our frontline people. That's drivers, nurses, doctors, everybody who is putting themselves out there for saving our lives. And I think sadly will be in great need of support after this, because they are giving their all to this, and without kind of any concerns for themselves at the moment. And the downside therefore to people who have a huge heart, and there's many of you out there, is that people, even your family and friends, can take advantage of you. And I mean, I can sort of resonate with this, because sometimes I even used to say to a friend, I must have like MUG written across my forehead, mug, but I was happy to do things. I can't berate myself for that. It's not anyone's fault. I wanted to do it. But you need to be aware of when people are taking advantage of you. And when you have high emotional intelligence, you're very aware of your own emotions. So you need to have, I mean, I think everybody should have this, because if you've got emotional intelligence, then you've got healthier relationships, because you know how to control your emotions. But that's kind of the problem. Sometimes we don't. We openly express our emotions, which can be positive, of course, but you could also lose yourself, lose who you are. When you express your emotions, you're openly telling everyone around you what's happening inside your head, from the bruises that you've had to your heart and soul, the pain of losing yourself after failed relationships. Your family and friends will warn you about being too open, but you continue to tell everyone of your emotions and how you're feeling. And of course, this can be a good thing, because actually by doing that, it allows people to connect with you in a deeper way. But just be careful. You need to learn from experience. Trust can be broken. And if you're a trusting person, you can also, of course, find it difficult to change. I've had betrayals. I've had people that I trusted, and I still continue to trust. And it's difficult, because people will say to me, why did you not learn? Well, I did learn, but I still trust, but I'm now a wee bit maybe more careful. And it's good to listen to others, particularly if you've had failed relationships, and I can fall into that category. So now I do tend to have trusting people who sort of say, well, just be careful, don't just follow your heart. The next thing, people who have big hearts, they give their heart to everyone. This can create problems for them because they're not only entrusting it to people that they love and that people that they treasure, but they've got confidence. And if they've got confidence in the people that they trust their heart to, that's fine. They will not be abused. But when you get hurt, it will be hard for you to build the pieces of your heart again. But you will, and you will heal and move on. Some exercises like my letting go can help, and of course they can also build back your confidence in yourself. When you've got a big heart and a huge heart, you value experiences and you really value the making of good memories. So rather than accumulating possessions which don't bring you happiness, you can feel much better about yourself by kind of creating and making these memories. You're not impressed by the way people look. You look within, how the person acts. You're looking kind of for their character. And are they kind people? Are they gentle people? Because remember, looks will fade, but what is inside us goes on forever. Also, if you've got a huge heart, you've got a sense of purpose. You will be kind and you'll always try to brighten up someone else's day. Smiles, hugs, time to make people feel that they're not alone. You've probably experienced hurt and problems from all aspects of life without someone to guide you sometimes. So you know how important it is to be kind to others and pass on your experiences. And you will do this with positivity and confidence. And you seem to know when people are going through troubled times, and the problem is you focus more on others. So you've got to remember to look after yourself. You recognise, and this is a kind of thing for sensitive people, people with high emotion. I can resonate with this, and I think my son that I lost, he was like this. You recognise there's a lot of sadness and brokenness in the world, and you wish you had more power to change everything. You can even find your sleep disturbed because you're worrying about all the sufferings of others, people who don't have a warm bed to go to sleep in. You enjoy everything that is creative. I think you're energised and inspired by people that are creative, whether it's art, poetry, books, and you feel connected to these kind of people. You can get attached to places, and that's not bad because as soon as you walk into a place, you've got that feeling that you belong. You've maybe been there. Sometimes people say when they're moving house or they're going to a new place, they go, oh, I feel as if I've almost been here before. I can feel it in the, excuse me, and I don't sanitising the screen there. Take a cup of my tea here. The good old trusty Open University cup that I've had for years. So you get attached to places. You feel the magic in the air. You can get to somewhere that you've never been before and you think, wow, this place excites me, it energises me, and you kind of reflect and you can think of seeing everything in a sort of new light. But remember, wherever you go in life, wherever location, whatever house, wherever you are, relationships, everything, you take yourself with you. And I've had so many people say, I'm fed up living here and I wished I moved to New Zealand, I wished I moved to Ireland, I wished to move here. If you don't change yourself with a negative kind of viewpoint, you're taking yourself with you. So just remember that. And I remember years ago, it was an old his friend, they were in their 70s, and they decided that they were upping sticks and they're going to a completely new place. And I remember this friend saying to me, do they realise that they're leaving all their friends behind? They're actually retiring, going somewhere else. And within months, he kind of said that to them. He said, no, we've got each other. We're going to be really excited here. And in a few months, he they were talking to him and they said, we don't know anybody here. It was like as if that was by some miracle. They thought they would know everybody in the new place. Now, they took time to get to know people. I don't mean that. And if your job takes you, people in the forces certainly have to cope with this. You're sent here, you're sent there. And it must be difficult for some. Others can take that in their stride. But just be careful. You have to think of yourself and take yourself. If you're taking yourself in a negative mood anywhere, that's never going to work. You need to embrace the new life. If you've got this huge heart, you're also emotionally sensitive. I found, my son was like that, and I noticed there was a post on Facebook of the photographer who he was a photojournalist and went into areas where there was real sadness, and he actually committed suicide. And there was a lot of from criticising from people saying, why was he taking photos? Why was he not helping these people? And he really couldn't cope. I know my son wanted to be a photojournalist, and I remember his mentor, a fabulous chap, said to me, I don't think he could cope in these, he'd be too sensitive. And I think, I remember talking to a nurse many years ago who worked in a cancer ward for children. And I visited, we were doing, I think, a concert in the ward, and we had 2 visits or something. And I said to her, I don't think I could cope with this. And she said, well, sometimes we might come across as cold, but she said, we have to watch ourselves. She said, if we break down, we aren't doing our job. And so they're kind of holding their emotions in track. They're kind of holding back, which is really bad for mental health, but they need to do it then, which is what our nurses, I suppose, people in the forces, they're seeing things all the time and they can't break down. They've got to hold themselves together. And that's why there's a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome, the PTSD. And it wasn't recognised maybe in the First World War or the Second World War. We're now recognising that. And it's this kind of holding back of emotions, we have to do our job, the stiff upper lip, we need to continue here. And that can have huge effects on their mental health. And of course, if you've created memories with someone special, often these people will hurt you, and their words and their actions will hurt you. And it seems that they forget the memories that they've created with you. And you get hurt because you've invested so much of your time and effort and your whole heart and soul into the relationship with these others. So when they leave you, it's hard to start over again on your own. So you need to be warned. I'm coming up with some tips there. You also, if you've got a huge heart, you notice the small detail in everything. You're happy when you feel the sun in your face. You're amazed by nature every day. So I'm going to ask now, do any of you can listen to this video again, I post it up again, do any of you recognise yourself in any of these or all of them? If you do, you can get hurt. You probably have already been hurt. You've already experienced hurt, rejection, loss. So what can you do? If you still have this big heart, and I think we want people to have a big heart, so you want to maybe avoid or prevent the problems for yourself. So whether you've been hurt through the loss of a friend, the breakup of a relationship, betrayal, any hurtful situation, no matter kind of what it is, it's important to understand that actually pain is a part of life. We can't get away from it. Life is not just a bed of roses all the time. Now, fortunately, emotional pain can and will get better with time. But the time span is different for everybody. If you break your arm, you can get to hospital and lovely doctors, experts will set the arm, and that physical pain will be resolved and hopefully feel better with physiotherapy. When it's emotional pain, and I think that's the problem with emotional and mental pain, is that it's not seen. So, in the workplace, if you have a skiing accident, you break your leg, people will rally around and go, oh, how was the holiday? Oh my goodness, it must have been awful, you couldn't ski. If you come into work or anywhere and you've got the emotional pain in your head, nobody sees it. Now, sensitive people will recognise it because that's the people with a big heart. But so many, they're not going to come up to you and say, what's the problem? Did something happen to you? And they tend to move away from these things, partly because they don't know what to say. And in fact, I'm just thinking of, I was talking to someone last night about bullying, and it's a huge passion of mine that bullies get away with so much. The victim tends to be the one that's, oh, you need to go for counselling and things. And I've said it before, that the bullies are the ones that really need help, or they just continue to be the way they are. And part of the problem is that we've got television programmes, we've got the, I'm now forgetting, but you're the weakest link, or you're fired, and people are watching, young people even, everybody's watching these programmes thinking, oh, it's okay to be like that, I'm the strong person, you can say what you like to me. It's not. These things are really bullies, and they're brought in for reality TV, really. So somebody with a big heart really needs to make a positive emotional change. So first of all, you need to acknowledge and accept what or who hurt you. Now, that doesn't mean forget what they did, but you need to accept, right, this happened, so identify your pain, then accept it. And by doing this, you're taking the first step to stop the pain from ruling your life. Now, it will for a while. People know that I've lost my son, and people have shared stories, and it's fabulous. This doesn't happen overnight, so don't expect miracles. But you take a deep breath, you think about your feelings, write them down, and you can say to yourself, it's okay to be not okay. But if you have negative feelings, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It's got nothing to do with that. But don't ignore your feelings, as it will then be harder. It will get harder to deal with them. And you need to allow yourself time. If you've been hurt or suffered loss or rejection, you need to give yourself time to grieve. It's all a grieving process. So depending on the circumstances, you need to acknowledge these feelings, whether it's hurt, sadness, frustration, anger. Don't force yourself to get over these feelings. Take your time. But you can build resilience and courage. And with resilience and courage, you will learn to endure life in a different way. So the people with a big heart again, you need to learn to manage your emotions. Now, we're all human, but you can take positive action and control your emotions rather than them controlling you. So change your mindset, and that's why I kind of keep banging on and repeating about my ABC, but using them, making them a ritual and making them a good habit, you can change your mindset. Remember, the power of the mind, it's extremely powerful. So if you've been hurt, of course, by someone, you might want to get closure by confronting them. That doesn't mean, you're forgetting, but you can try and forgive them, not forget. But if that's not possible, you can use my letting go exercise and kind of put them in your head and go, I need to let this go, or you'll never move on. And you're giving energy to that person, and it just holds you back. Now, I'm laughing to see Barbara's there, and Mimi, thank you very much, Alan, for watching, because some of you know that I don't always use my own techniques, and I love to have, it's the cobbler's bairns, I love to have people say, and I think it was Barbara said, I know someone who promotes you could use this technique, so I've got to be reminded myself, I am human, and I'm not superhuman. So if it's a relationship breakup, sometimes just returning the property. Now that can't always be easy. Maybe you don't want to meet them again, etc. But it's like a final goodbye to that relationship. You're putting closure to yourself. And of course, if you can't physically take the goods and the material things, just put them off in that ribbon exercise, the balloon, and send it off there. Just imagine letting go of it all, and you've got closure, and you can see yourself, it's done. Stop dwelling on the past. That's the other one. And we tend to reflect on, oh, the what ifs, and, and wasn't that a lovely time? That's lovely to have good memories. But when you're hurt, you need to acknowledge and accept that hurt. Don't let it dictate the rest of your life. Learn from the experience and create a plan to prevent it from happening again. Now that's easier said than done, and I can tell you, because I have some challenges in life. I've made poor decisions on relationships particularly, and you'd think I would learn from the first experience, and then I think, no, we jump into the next one, and so on. You might have 1, 2, 3, maybe more than that. Now, there's nothing kind of wrong in that, but what you need to do about it is you need to learn from each of the experiences. So if you've got this bad experience, you need to learn, what am I supposed to be learning from this? And to me, the greatest strengths in your life come from the greatest challenges. Now, be grateful. So by doing this, you can reconnect with activities you enjoy. Anything positive, let go of the negatives. Turn the negatives into the positives and opportunities. And I've said it before, get rid of negative people in your life. Now, I have some very close friends and colleagues that I think they do. They're in maybe either a work relationship or personal relationship with people that are maybe a tad not too positive. They're maybe negative. So it's easier said than done. You can't just, if you're living with a negative person, you can't say, I'm off. I bet you wish you could. I used to promote my kind of passion, or my wish for life is that I wish everybody could have the opportunity of 2 houses or 2 flats. So you could say, I'm off tonight, dear, I'm going to my own flat tonight. So we can't do that. Most of us can't. And what do I promote? Here's my broken record again. Take yourself off to the bathroom. This bathroom's going to be really so busy after all my videos. But it means you can just give yourself time. When somebody's negative, the tendency, if you've got this big heart, is to respond to them. And you even go down the road of, is it something I've done? Was it me? Forget it. You need to remove yourself. Go to the bathroom, take your deep breaths and say, I am confident, I am fine. Don't get embroiled in their negativity. Now, when both of you are calm, when you come out and there's a calm moment, you could maybe try to explain maybe my techniques, how positivity can help them as well. My hope is that the ripple effect will this effect will ripple across everybody, and we could all be more positive than we are. Be responsible and accountable for your own actions and feelings. Now, this is very apt today. It doesn't mean taking the blame for everything, but if you've made an honest mistake, you need to acknowledge it and apologise and learn from it. And what have we been seeing recently, which is awful, with the comings and goings? I don't need to say any more. I would say that I'm a non-confrontational person, so sometimes, and I don't think it's a bad thing, even if it isn't my fault, I will apologise to kind of try and clear the air, and we can move on then. And I think in the particular situation that we've all been seeing during this pandemic, there's a lot of people would have been much more appeased if the person in question had just said, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I did it for the best of reasons. People would respect that more, instead of what comes across and often is arrogance, and it's kind of lack of humanity and thinking, well, we're above whatever we're doing. That's just all wrong, and it's why people are getting so angry. Now, when you're angry, and I can understand this angry, I try not to keep promoting it on social media, promoting it everywhere. I can't change what they did or what happened, but I can change my attitude towards it and think, do I want someone in my life or leading the country or whatever? You have choices you can make. And I sometimes think that the people like that who are arrogant and don't realise that they've done anything wrong, they won't apologise. I mean, in my own sort of circumstances with my son, in a sense, all he wanted was an apology, and it was from someone who thought they were blameless. And I said, but you will never get an apology from these kind of people. So in a way, if you're the bigger person and you've got the big heart, you're able to say, I'm sorry, it was a mistake, I did it with the best of intentions. But when you do that and you learn from this, you're taking back power and you're freeing yourself, knowing that what you need to do is change for the future and avoid similar problems. But you've heard this phrase that people never learn. So, but we can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. And I've found another people with big hearts, sometimes they share, and I think that's fabulous. Sharing is caring and helps healing. And I found I was inspired and motivated by the people who shared their stories of loss with me, which I've included in my book, The Weight of Emptiness, and it's about to be published. I'm so excited. So it's kind of on its final evaluation, and I will keep people in touch with when that is being published. And I have another book as well. I've been really busy before lockdown and during lockdown, and it's Resilience and Courage are the key to endurance. And if you've got resilience and courage, you can endure really most things, if not everything in life, and see it from a different viewpoint. And that's soon to be published, so maybe 2 books before the summer. Set boundaries. So if you're this person with a huge heart and you're giving everything of yourself and you jump into a relationship, sometimes personal relationships, sometimes work relationships, if it's a personal relationship and you've learnt from previous experiences, set boundaries. Set boundaries for the future, because if you write a list of your needs and what is non-negotiable for future relationships, you won't fall into that trap. We're so often quick just to jump into, our heart rolls our head and we jump into all of this. Maybe a fabulous, people will say, well, it was maybe lust, not love. But we give our heart so openly, often forgetting about who we are. So we're so willing to please the other person, we lose ourselves. We don't become the person. I mean, I've been there and I think, oh, I could do this because that would help, whoever I'm with. So you become someone else. And I bet some of you recognise this. It's like you're just bowled over, I suppose, in the heat of the moment. So if you make a list, on that list should be what you will not compromise on, and never compromise on your values. If you feel your needs are not being met, then head off before it's too late and you're hurt again. Of course, what is vital in this list, you have to have clarity. You need to be clear in giving your message to the other person. And need I say more, in these times we've had many messages and I've been told, oh, it was perfectly clear. Some people have said to me, these messages are perfectly clear. I'm sorry. If your message is not clear to even one person, your message is not clear. So you've got to be clear in communicating your message and also telling the other person they've got to know the consequences if they don't respect your boundaries. Learn to say no. It's been a hard one for me. I've got the mug on my forehead, but I've got to recognise that when I say yes and I'm doing things, I think, well, I've done it because I wanted to do it, but don't ever feel compelled to it. Now, one of the things I've often found, it's like the agony aunt, but people will say, oh, I've got to go to my mum's, I've got to go to my dad's. And I say, well, why are you going? Why do you not want to go? And they say, well, I love them, but every time I go, they just criticise me. Now, the answer to that, hurtful or not, is you really need to give them that message. They maybe don't even know. Sometimes parents will say things, oh, it's for your benefit. But if it's hurting you, so you need to say, look, I love you, mum, but really I don't want to come down for a week's holiday because all I get is you criticise me. Now, it might create a bit of a fuss, but you're sort of helping yourself and you're maybe hopefully helping the other person to recognise that they didn't realise they were maybe doing that. It's not for your best interests. You've then to go away and kind of boost yourself. So when you've got a huge heart and being kind and you're a terrific person, you need to take good care of yourself. Physical, nutrition, mental health, reading, listening to music, enjoying what you enjoy, just giving time and space to yourself. And of course, if you use my ABC, you affirm that I feel good, I feel calm, I'm confident, then you can really help yourself. And of course, your deep breathing energizes you and calms you. And then you've got my Mind Bites meditation. And these are creating something in your mind that's positive, the 3 Ps, the personal, positive, and present or past tense. So you imagine yourself in a beautiful place that calms you and helps you feel good. Now, there's an exercise here. Now, I did an exercise yesterday, and there was people had to choose a number from 1 to 7. And I've done another exercise today, and you can choose a different number or the same number because it's not the same things I'm asking you to do. So if you've got a moment just now, and you can rewind this obviously and do the exercise afterwards. So choose a number from 1 to 7. Now you might all choose 1, you might all choose 7, it doesn't matter. It's for you. So choose a number from 1 to 7. Now, if you've chosen number 1, the exercise for you is, I want you to think carefully, is there something you need to let go of or want to let go of? So you need to identify the feelings, identify something, and then maybe use my exercise. Get it in that balloon or with the ribbon wrapped round it tightly and then let it go. If you've chosen number 2, are people taking advantage of you? Do you recognise if they're taking advantage of you? And if they are, if you feel this is happening, then have you got boundaries? Are there something you can do to help yourself? Don't always say yes to everything. It's not being kind sometimes, because if you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to look after others. Number 3 is, do you give your heart to everyone? Now, I'm not meaning in the sense of personal relationship necessarily, in that sense. I'm meaning like, is your heart so big you just want to help everybody? Well, I want you to recognise that you can't help everybody. So is there some way you can maybe make your list of boundaries that you know who you can help, when you can help them? Number 4, people who've chosen number 4, is about a sense of purpose. Do you have a sense of purpose? And if you have, and sometimes it gets lost and you're kind of not you, then I suggest you have what I showed before. You have your inspiration or your aspiration board, your achievement board. You don't need to write things down. You can even get the kids to help you and say, right, cut out things from a magazine. You need to have a sense of purpose for yourself. Number 5, if you've chosen that, are you attached to someone or a place? And you've got to think there, am I fulfilling my own needs? I know we can get attached to things and we feel that the magic is here, but are you looking at that place or person for your happiness? Now, that will never happen. Happiness is within us, and you can't get it from material things or other people. So just have a wee think about that. If you're number 6, are you emotionally sensitive? Are you really over emotionally sensitive? Do you cry at everything? The world's broken. You're seeing all the negative news and it's all just getting to you, and you can really be brought down. Now, the way round that, because it's good to feel for other people around the world, but you cannot solve everybody's problems. You can do things to help. You might want to volunteer, but first of all, you need to kind of consider your own emotions and not let these things get you down. There's too much brokenness in the world, and you need to recognise that and then act in some way that you could maybe solve one problem. but you need to solve your own before you can help other people. So if you cry at everything, you need to maybe manage these emotions. Number 7, are you amazed by nature? Now, if you're not, and this is, I touched on this yesterday, you need to give yourself time and space to be amazed by what's around about you. And this is being self-aware. So maybe you're on a roller coaster, you're rushing around doing so many things. So the people who've chosen number 7, what I would say, well, for all of them, take time. You need time and space for yourself. Now, I'm not meaning that you have to take the whole day. It'd be great if you could have a spa day. Maybe you can't. But we've talked before, just a minute or two, 5 minutes maximum for yourself. And that's not being selfish. And it can re-energize you. Even the 2-minute breathing exercise, you feel calm and you feel energized. And when you're calm, you see more round about you. So if you feel you've maybe not had enough in nature, get out there. Look at you don't even need to be in the countryside. If you're in the countryside, it's fabulous. You can look at the trees and the leaves, everything, a blade of grass. But if you're in the city, look up at the sky. Even when it's grey, it's forever changing. In fact, there was, I can't remember, was it, the name's gone, a poet, not Eliot, Tennyson's poet, I think. It was a sky, when you see a moment in the sky, that never returns. The sky's forever changing. So clouds are never the same at one moment. And that's kind of the beauty of nature. It's forever changing. So I hope that's kind of inspired you today. I wanted to ask, because I've been doing the daily videos and I was thinking, now please post private message me or post publicly. I was thinking from the 1st of June that stopping the daily live videos, part of a friend was saying to me, it must be quite challenging. Well, I find it challenging. I can talk for Britain, as you can probably guess, but it's kind of, sometimes I feel, I'm repeating myself. No bad thing when you're maybe wanting to create a good habit, but maybe is it too much of a good thing? But the challenge was, do I wear the same thing every day? It's like, in fact, I remember a friend who was training, and she said that she used to envy the males that did the training because they could actually wear the same suit but change their shirt, whereas she felt she couldn't go down in the same outfit every day. So it's a bit like that. And in fact, a good friend, Liz, phoned me and she said, I've got a lot of clothes here at home. And I thought, is she actually, she was being kind, it wasn't, I said, is not what I'm wearing good enough? I said, no, you don't see what I've got down below. I could be wearing PJs. You just don't know. But the changing of the t-shirt, just a different colour each day. So I wondered whether I should go to once a week. So you maybe need to listen to this video again. Once a week, maybe on a Wednesday, or twice a week, should it be Tuesday and Thursday, or 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And maybe people want to hear me every day, but I did think from Monday the 1st of June, I would do Mondays, but then tell me, do you want once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week? Now, I'm going to finish with the lovely Mind Bites, and I think that we deserve to be safe and secure today, and particularly those with huge hearts. So I'm going to do the golden sphere. People seem to like that. Now, this keeps you calm, it keeps you feeling secure, it takes care of yourself, and I know that when I'm talking about maybe stepping into the golden sphere, if you feel claustrophobic, you don't need to. You can feel the heat of it from outside. So we want to be grounded with our feet on the ground. And of course, if you can get outside and it's a beautiful day, it's wonderful to sit or lie back, close your eyes and just creatively imagine yourself somewhere. And it's nothing better. And so if we have our feet on the ground and we sit in our chair and our shoulders back, so we want to feel confident, and you can feel confident by just holding your shoulders back, and it gives you that feeling of I am in control, but I'm going to create this lovely imaginary situation. So remember, the breathing is the deep breathing. When you're breathing in, you should be pushing your tummy out, the diaphragm. And when you're exhaling, it goes in your tummy. So it's none of this shoulder breathing, the shallow breathing. Deep breathing gives you energy. So it relaxes, it calms, but also energizes you. So all my mind bites are about 2 minutes. They're not much longer. They can feel longer, but they're just as effective as anything that is much longer. So close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Hold and then exhale. Now imagine you are walking along sun-drenched sand. You feel the sun on your face. You feel the warmth. You feel relaxed. You walk along the sand and you notice that on your right there is a large golden sphere. You walk towards it. You can feel the warmth. Now, if you feel you can step inside. And when you step inside, you feel this warmth engulf you. You feel safe. You feel secure. You know that you can face anything. You can turn challenges into opportunities. Now take a deep breath in and let your body and mind fill with this warmth. When you're able, you can step out of the golden sphere again, and you still feel its warmth. You can feel your bare feet on the sand. The sand is warm, and you feel it just flowing through your body. You feel the sun on your face again. Now you can say to yourself your affirmations. I feel calm. I feel positive. I know that I can turn challenges into opportunities. I am safe. I am secure. And then you can open your eyes and you can repeat your affirmations like I feel calm, I feel positive, whatever affirmation suits you at the time, because these are for you. And then of course you can shake your shoulders and stretch your arms or yawn just to relax your body again. I hope you've enjoyed that, and any time you feel you need time and space, get yourself not just into the bathroom, but maybe into the golden sphere. So today we've got sun shining today, so I'm going to maybe do some of my exercises as well and think of positive things I can do. And tomorrow is going to be Wistful Wednesday. But remember, please post, well, you can post your number up or tell me what you've been doing with your thank you, maybe same to you as well. Thank you everybody for watching. It inspires and motivates me to continue doing these. And I love just having you all listening and watching. Thank you very much. Virtual hugs to everybody. Kisses, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Bye.